In recent months, the rift between King Charles III and his brother Prince Andrew has grown increasingly tense, and it's clear that the York sisters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, are not pleased with how things are unfolding. Though the royal siblings may have shown loyalty to the monarchy, their support for their father, Prince Andrew, is coming at a personal cost. This conflict, which is centered around the 30-room Windsor Mansion, Royal Lodge, is much more than a mere family dispute. It's a matter of royal control, public perception, and private anguish for the York family. And while the public remains largely unaware of the behind-the-scenes dynamics, Beatrice and Eugenie are reportedly growing frustrated with how the royal narrative is being controlled by the palace. At the heart of this dispute is Royal Lodge, the lavish property where Prince Andrew has resided for decades. After his disgrace and public scandal linked to Jeffrey Epstein, King Charles had hoped to evict Andrew from the royal residence as part of his broader effort to downsize the royal family and reallocate royal assets. However, the Duke of York has pushed back, citing his ability to sustain his lifestyle through his legitimate sources of income, which has reportedly allowed him to maintain the lease on Royal Lodge. While this might seem like a personal battle between the brothers, the ongoing saga has become a larger issue that impacts Beatrice and Eugenie directly. They are caught in the middle of a high-stakes royal conflict that has dragged on for years, and it's taking an emotional toll on them. For the York sisters, this isn't just about their father's residence. This is about how the palace manages royal narratives, particularly when it comes to family unity. Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie have long been seen as the more private and less involved members of the royal family, especially since they do not hold official royal titles or work as full-time royals. However, that doesn't mean their lives are without significant royal pressures. According to sources close to the family, the York sisters have grown increasingly disillusioned with the way the royal family uses them as part of its public relations strategy. While the palace often emphasizes the unity and support among the royal family, Beatrice and Eugenie reportedly feel that this image of harmony doesn't reflect what's actually going on behind closed doors. In fact, insiders say that the York sisters have been fed up with the way the palace controls royal narratives to maintain a positive image of the monarchy, particularly when it comes to the ongoing feud between their father, Prince Andrew, and King Charles. A source revealed to Express UK that Beatrice and Eugenie feel like pawns in a push-and-pull scenario, where they are expected to support their father publicly while navigating the complex web of royal obligations and private family dynamics. The push-and-pull scenario for them is becoming more and more difficult as time goes on, the source explained. The situation is further compounded by the fact that the Royal Lodge issue has evolved into a family-wide conflict, not just a problem for Prince Andrew. This has created additional strain on the York sisters, who feel that the drama surrounding their father's home is affecting their own lives as well. Despite the turmoil and the intense media scrutiny, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie have made it clear that they are rallying around their father. This is not just about Prince Andrew's battle with King Charles over Royal Lodge. This is a York family issue, and the entire family is reportedly united in their support for one another. According to the same insider, the York family has held several internal meetings and developed a strategy, or battle plan, to address the ongoing dispute. It's important to note that Sarah, Duchess of York, who has long been a pivotal figure in the York family dynamic, is also deeply involved in supporting Prince Andrew and ensuring the family's interests are safeguarded. The entire family, Sarah, Beatrice, Eugenie, and Prince Andrew, are committed to handling the situation together, with Beatrice taking the lead as the charge in protecting her father's interests. The sisters, especially Beatrice, are fiercely loyal to their father and determined to prevent further damage to his reputation. Despite the challenges they face, they have made it clear that they will not allow their family to fall under the weight of any more negative press or public ridicule. The ongoing issues with Royal Lodge are just one aspect of a much larger problem for Prince Andrew. His fall from grace following his ties to Jeffrey Epstein and the subsequent sex scandal has deeply affected his standing within the royal family. After being stripped of his royal titles and patronages, and losing his official duties as a working royal, Prince Andrew was left with very little in terms of royal funding. His £3 million annual allowance, which was traditionally provided by the Royal Fund, was cut off by King Charles as part of a broader move to reshape the monarchy and reduce its size. The prospect of downgrading Prince Andrew's living arrangements from Royal Lodge to Frogmore Cottage was part of Charles's efforts to scale down royal properties and better manage resources within the monarchy. However, Prince Andrew's income from other sources, which has reportedly been sufficient to cover his expenses, means he is not required to vacate Royal Lodge, much to the frustration of King Charles. In the midst of all this, Beatrice and Eugenie have stayed largely out of the media spotlight, with Beatrice expecting her second child and Eugenie living in Portugal. Yet, despite their personal lives, they are keenly aware of the public interest in their family's struggles and the constant press coverage that surrounds them. Beatrice, in particular, has been described as a determined protector of her family, vowing to shield them from any more public humiliation or scandal. While Beatrice and Eugenie are deeply involved in supporting their father, they also have their own aspirations and goals that don't always align with the royal family's expectations. Both sisters, while supportive of the monarchy, are keen on forging their own lives and relationships outside the constraints of royal duties. They have both expressed a desire to live on their own terms, without constantly being dragged into royal battles or used as pawns in the royal PR machine. This desire for independence has been a growing theme for the York sisters as they work to build their own futures while navigating the complexities of their family's royal legacy. It's clear that Beatrice and Eugenie do not want to be controlled or defined solely by their royal status. They want to cultivate their own identities, separate from the pressures and expectations of the monarchy. As the Royal Lodge saga continues, it's evident that Beatrice and Eugenie are struggling to balance their loyalty to their father with the demands placed on them by the royal family and the public's scrutiny. While they remain fiercely supportive of Prince Andrew, they also desire to carve out their own paths without being overshadowed by the ongoing family drama. The situation with Royal Lodge is not just about a property dispute. It's a symbol of the deeper issues within the royal family and the York family's struggle for autonomy. What do you think about the ongoing tensions between Prince Andrew and King Charles? And how do you feel about Beatrice and Eugenie's role in the matter? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And before you leave, don't forget to subscribe and like this video for more in-depth royal updates and analysis. Thank you for watching.